style varies quite a lot. I go shopping and I'm like, oh, I like this thing. I'm gonna put that in somewhere. What I'm wearing today is, I don't know, like my day off uniform because I'm going to the library after this. So it's just one of my very many like oversized shirts and jeans.
I like color. I like to put color in and play with colors all the time. And I just like buying colorful things. But today I decided, like, I opened my wardrobe and I'm like, it's sunny outside, but I want to wear all black. But at the same time, I'm going to wear my yellow coat so I can stand out at the same time. So I was like, yeah, that's it today.
Well, I just, I don't know, I feel it's summer or the spring's here, so I just feel like, I want to be looking more like, springtime, just so get my shorts and, I don't know, just very, very normal, simple,
I just paired the top with the trousers and then put a red coat on because it's red and then a black belt and black shoes.
And footwear, how did you decide?
Because I've got a black belt, so I paired with black shoes.
Very nice. And yourself?
I just like to colour coordinate my shoes, so I think something I thought would go.
And was the weather an aspect in deciding what to wear today?
It was to begin with, and now it's a bit cloudy. So.
It's often said that the way you dress is the way you are dressed. Yeah, so most times the clothes may be cheap or it may be expensive, irrespective of the cost. It's just a matter of how you match it, how you wear it.
She's speaking now.
That's basically it.
And how would you describe your sense of style generally?
I have like 3 different sides. Like I'm really girly, I'm really boy, and then I'm kind of like grunge mixed with different things. So today I feel like being girly. So I kind of got something a bit cute but still comfortable at the same time because I'm actually heading to the library later on.
This is a game-changing year for the city of Dundee. The V&A Dundee, Scotland's stunning, purpose-built National Design Museum, will open in September 2018 as the flagship pride and joy of the £1 billion regeneration of the city's waterfront. It will be the only V&A museum in the world outside London, an international centre for design, a place of inspiration, discovery and learning. The opening exhibition, Ocean Liners, Speed and Style, will reimagine the golden age of ocean travel and explore all aspects of ship design, from the opulent fashion and lifestyle on board to the remarkable engineering, architecture and interiors. And with Dundee's re-emergence on a global scale as the UK's only UNESCO City of Design, creativity and culture is positively booming. So, what better time to launch the first ever Dundee Fashion Week?
The objectives originally were to provide a real working project for students at Dundee and Angus College so that they could add to their portfolio, and for that event to be something very professional, very slick, and that would offer cross-college opportunities. What can we expect? We can expect homegrown designers and independent fashion boutiques showcasing their collection.
Well, my name's Jenna Delaney and I'm a jewellery designer based in Dundee at Wasp Studios. I moved here in 2003 to study at the art school, Duncan & Johnson. Graduated from the art school in 2006 and I've been running my jewellery design business, Jenna Design, since then. I tend to kind of create my own trends with my jewellery, and when I go to fairs and things I always ask my clients what it is they want and then create things for them. And I've just recently launched like my new collection which I'll be showcasing at the catwalk finale.
Isolated Heroes are taking part in the McManus exhibition in the McManus Galleries as part of Dundee Fashion Week. We're going to be showcasing some of our top looks that we've designed for celebrities and showing the design process behind them. We have quite a big celebrity fan base. Miley Cyrus is one of them. We've made some things for Lily Allen. Paloma Faith has been a big supporter of the brand. We've made continuous stuff for her through many of our tours. I think Dundee Fashion Week's an amazing thing for the city. It's getting so many young people involved and engaged in what's happening in the city and the different businesses that are working here.
For months now, the fashion community has been buzzing with excitement as designers got ready to showcase their work and models to strut their stuff. And so we took to the streets, in workplaces, shopping centres and campuses to talk to people living and working in the city about what fashion and style means to them. From designers to retailers, hairdressers to jewellery makers, and shoppers to students, we gathered a vibrant snapshot of what influences our style in the city.
Confidence. As in anything, if you have confidence in the style, the hairstyle, the makeup, what you wear, it gives an overall confidence, and I think that people really are drawn to someone that has confidence.
True style is something that you go with on intuition, what you feel best in and like what you feel suits you best.
Style's a way of thinking, a way of being, and style is more simple and elegant than fashion.
When you go out in the street, you can tell the difference when people are following their own sense of style or whether they're just following the fashion trends, because I think people who are following the fashion trends, they all start to look the same and they lose that kind of that essence of who they are, and for me that's what our clothes should be, an expression of, an extension of our personality.
I think it's who they are makes a person stylish rather than just the clothes. I think you can meet an individual and you could put a $12.99 shirt on them and they will look fantastic, or you put a 3,000 Dolce & Gabbana shirt on them and they will look fantastic. Equally, some people it could be the other way around. I think it has something to do with the way some people are able just to carry themselves. It does accentuate their personality. I think that's something about fashion. It's not just the clothes themselves.
I think style's all about knowing what suits you and what colours to put together, sometimes not what you might expect to put together, using accessories to the best, and just choosing the right shoes, which is something I'm very fond of doing.
I would say female has to be Coco Chanel. More current than that, perhaps Rie Kawakuboko, which is the woman behind the Comme des Garçons brand. For males, it has to be probably Paul Smith.
I would say my very favourite style icon would be Audrey Hepburn. She was elegant and classic and beautiful and rocked a little black dress like no one else.
So like David Bowie is like a major kind of style icon for me, and I absolutely love like the kind of punk rock style as well with Billy Idol and people like that.
I always liked David Bowie for being, well, could be very out there and very colourful, but he was always very stylish. He always had something about him that was very stylish, I thought. It wasn't just thrown together, there was thought behind it. So I guess individuals along that line, but I don't tend to look in the media or follow through film or music these days and sort of, I will copy and follow someone like that. So it just tends to be bits and pieces that I see that I pick up on that I quite like rather than individuals.
It's difficult to say. I'd say it's more groups of people, almost stylish movements. I look a lot to musicians really for what they wear, especially over the past couple of years, and as growing up and sort of changing my sense of style.
I would say growing up it was always my mum. She was so stylish, she wore the highest heels and was so glamorous. And my mum was glamorous going to church on a Sunday morning, so she was always the most stylish person I knew.
My dad's the most stylish person I know. He's one of these men who he's got a beard that he gets styled like every 10 days. He's really proud of it. He always has really stylish clothes. He he takes a lot of pride in his appearance, and he always says it's because he's got 3 daughters and a wife who are all, you know, like to express themselves through style. But for me, I think he's the role model of the family in this, that, you know, he always has different hats or waistcoats, and he takes a lot of pride when people notice his outfit or his beard. So yeah, unusually, it's my dad.
I think like anyone who definitely like displays like a level of an aesthetic that they've kept up for so long and been true to themselves, definitely, and that, like, my family, like both my grandparents specifically.
I can't think of one person. I know lots of people who are very stylish, and I always admire people for being able to wear what they like.
But I would say in general, the women of Dundee have carried on in the decades that I've been working here. They've always been transient, and there's a different person each decade, and there's a different one for each generation.
My style icon, I think I would have to say Helen Mirren. I love, you know, when you see her on the red carpet and she's got a beautiful, beautiful dress on, and then she'll put like a black leather jacket over it and look just really, really amazing. And you know, she's an inspiration in her 70s. My big style icon, though, has to be RuPaul. Those frocks are unbelievable. I would love to have the nerve to dress like that. I love RuPaul.
I think I'm probably quite heavily influenced by fashion brands and what's going on out there. I'm part of a really big Instagram community, so we exchange ideas. I get outfit ideas from them as well. So yeah, there's a lot of retailers and a lot of designers out there that are really inspirational.
And I specifically buy things that I see in Scotland. I know Hayley Scanlon's a big name in Dundee. I've got quite a few of her tops at home. Also because this is hand done and it's all sourced. My friend has alpacas. She knitted me a hat with her alpaca wool that was sheared in Scotland and sent away and made it. Everything, to me, is very important to support local, especially around in the area.
I really have my own kind of style, but there are brands that I do like. I like a brand called Isabel and Masai as well, and Tenki. However, I'm also quite fond of atmosphere at Primark, George at Asda, and Fred and Florence at Tesco. It just depends.
I guess I must be, but I like to think I'm not. I don't follow brands. I shy away from, you know, super dry across your shoulder or anything like that. So I tend to stay away from those things. And if it's in fashion, then I try and stay away from it.
I don't really follow fashion as such. I think I wear what I like to wear, and I think because of my heritage, South Asian heritage, that has a big influence in it as well. So I'll always inject some bright colour piece in there.
I think I used to be caught up in this, you know, the perception of what perfect looked like that fashion can portray, and we all know that about being skinny. And I don't at all now. I think now it's about a celebration of what my body can do rather than what it looks like. When I think of all the things my body's been through, I live with a critical illness, and now it's a celebration of, well, I got up today, and isn't my body incredible that it's giving me life today? And I feel that I wasted so many years getting caught up in what it looked like, and I think actually it's much more important is celebrating what it can do, and I think that's an important message, especially for young women who get caught up in their body image. So I think that's the biggest change for me.
I do. In fact, I brought both of them with me. This scarf is Scottish, and it's by Hilary Grant, and it's made on a loom in the Outer Hebrides. And this bag my kids got made for me by a little fashion place down in London. A small couple of ladies working to make these bags, and yeah, one of the nicest things I've got. So I carry these around as much as I can because I really like them.
I'm not precious about anything. I'm willing to lose anything. That means any items. I would be sad if I lost my vintage biker jacket. I wouldn't. I'm sure I would get another one. But the main item for me are shoes. That's might be unusual, but shoes, because I'm on my feet all day, and mainly docks.
I'm actually wearing like multiple go-to fashion accessories and like pieces of clothing right now. This jacket is actually by Dundee designer Kerry Aldo, and this is something I wear constantly, all day, every day. It's just so functional, and like I love the pockets. It's just like a very like unique design, I think, to her. And also like my green pinafore, which is also by Kerry Aldo. I think it's like really unique, and it's not something that you would necessarily see a lot of, like if you were to the high street in places like New Look and Primark. I just don't think you see that quite a lot.
That would have to be boots and shoes. I have so many pairs, it's embarrassing. I might have to move house soon.
I think for me it's, and this might surprise people, it's actually the first headscarf I bought when I lost all my hair following chemotherapy. So I started my chemotherapy, my hair started to fall out, and my husband helped me shave my head, and I didn't want to wear wigs, I wanted to wear headscarves. So I bought this headscarf that has all of my favourite colours in it, and I wore it, you know, a lot when I was going through my treatment and during recovery, and now I actually wear it as a scarf accessory because, you know, it could remind me of a sad time, but actually it reminds me of the moment where I started using my clothes as an expression of myself and who I am, and so it's really nice to incorporate that into my wardrobe now.
My favourite fashion accessory, I guess, has to be shoes. I've got far too many shoes. I really have. And they're a little bit like pussycats that live in the house and never go outside, because I don't actually wear them outside. I just wear them in the studio. I wear my flat shoes right up until the moment that I sit down, until we say 10 seconds to go, and then I put my high heels on. But I do love a pair of shoes. They make you feel better. And they're like ornaments as well. You can decorate your home.
I think having the confidence to wear whatever you want, regardless of what you think other people might feel, is really important. And I think when you're feeling good, you'll exude that in what you're wearing. So confidence is really important.
Oh my goodness, everything's affected. If you have a mental health condition or a severe eating disorder, you can't, you know, you've got no confidence, no self-esteem. You can't look at yourself with body positivity at all. You kind of shy away from the world and society. You hide and you feel really inferior, as in the way you look. When I was going through, I couldn't even look at people in the eye. I used to feel I was too inferior to even have eye contact with people. So it affects everything about your daily life.
And following my diagnosis, you know, I suddenly lost all my hair, my eyebrows, my eyelashes. I lost a lot of weight. I went down to just 42 kilos. I had major surgery, having 5 organs removed. I've got a lot of abdominal scarring, and I've got a colostomy bag. And so my sense of style, having all of that stripped away, really had to be an expression of my personality and my femininity. And so I had fun with that. You know, I got lots of headscarves that were, you know, really joyful colours, and I wore them instead of wigs, because wigs almost felt like I was ashamed that I had cancer, whereas I think the headscarves were like a celebration of, this is who I am and I'm doing the best with it to express myself, and that gave me joy, and they almost become like a fashion accessory for me, that I would match them to my outfits. And I think that was kind of a turning point for me, that actually, you know, this society view of perfection and fashion is so different from style and projecting our personality and our sense of self, which is now how I view my wardrobe.
I think personality and confidence have a huge effect on what you wear. I think the secret is knowing what you feel comfortable in, and that makes you feel good about yourself, no matter what your size, no matter what your shape, what height you are. It's just knowing what you feel good in.
Hugely. I would definitely say you kind of go through phases where you'll try something out, and if your friends make fun of you, you're not going to wear it again. So even as somebody that, like, I feel dresses quite well now, it's not like I haven't gone through stages where I've put on stuff and then thought, why the hell did I come out dressed like this today?
I think the fashionistas would call me a woman of size, and we're all women of all different sizes, and I think you should wear what makes you feel confident, and I am wearing a black base, but I've put colour on it because it's important to me to feel colourful and not to blend in the background.
That's one of the things with, for example, anorexia that I experienced was one of the key factors was that the more I lost, the more I hid, and the more I piled on, the more layers I would wear. So yeah, and it's interesting because I think I saw someone on social media recently, someone said if you're having a fat day or an uncomfortable day, hide behind your friend or hide something in front of you to hide your body, which is ridiculous. Because you know you are who you are, and really is I think as I've become more self-aware, I'm more confident in myself.
Confident in what you're wearing and pick exactly what you want to wear. I think now there's so many clothing brands that cater for a whole range of sizes, and it's so much easier now to dress and express yourself through clothing without having to wear something because you feel it fits a certain demographic.
I would say to people who are thinking about body image, know what suits you. I think as you get older, you tend to know the things that you look good in, and if you feel comfortable, that's what you should go for.
I think we all worry about body image, so what I would say is you're not alone. Every single woman that I know worries about body image, from every size, from every height. I think we're all the same, and I think the best thing that you could do is wear what you're comfortable in, wear what you want to wear, and just wear it with confidence.
I think there's a lot down to the person and where they're at in their life and regarding what it is that they're actually wearing. I would say it's a lot more obvious, and like these things are more talked about when it comes to women and like sort of women fashion trends, especially with what you see in the magazines and I suppose all over social media. But with men, I would say it's probably a little bit more relaxed, but that's maybe just because I've not gone through as many sort of difficulties myself.
I don't think you should worry about what size you are, what age you are. If you like something, you should wear it as long as you feel good in it. I don't think it matters. It's all about expressing yourself. I don't think we should all be fashion victims. I don't think just because someone says lilac is in, everybody's got to wear lilac. If you want to, that's absolutely fine, but you shouldn't have to. You really shouldn't have to. And if somebody says, you know, minis are in or maxis are in or middies, that's fine. Just wear what you want to wear and be happy in it and be fierce.
For years there's always been like individual artist groups like Generator Project, like Creative Dundee. I think have just reached their, 10 or 11 years. So there's all these like individual little creative groups that have been around for a long time, especially like even WASP, which I'm a part of. I mean, WASP has been there for like 40 years.
It always has been creative. There's always been creativity in Dundee. We had, you know, the art school has been there all the time. And in 1969-70, when I started hairdressing, some of my friends went to do town planning at the art school or architecture, and I was exposed to degree shows for the first time, and I came upon these printed and constructed textiles that were absolutely incredible, and especially printed textiles that were being made up to curtains and cushion covers. I approached them to see if we could start a fashion award, and they took that up, and from 1984 onwards we worked for 20 years with yearly fashion awards, and the award that's behind me just now was instigated in 1988. The year after that we then had the first the Dundee Fashion Week. It's been there all the time, but hand in hand with that was the music, or the pubs that were opening, was the design feeling. That's coming back again.
I think it's before people just thought, oh, Dundee's just such a small place, like I can't be successful there. But I think with social media is such a major thing, because technically nowadays it doesn't really matter where you're located, because you can be completely global with the internet and social media. So I think that's helped a lot of people stay in Dundee.
Social media has been the backbone to our company growth. So I think it wouldn't have been noticed by any of the celebrities who've seen it. If I had a shop, they probably wouldn't have walked past it. So for us, it's been massively important, and we use Instagram every day. We're constantly on Instagram Live and Instagram Stories. It also shows our ethical manufacturing policies because we're making everything in-house with studio in Dundee. So people actually see how it's made and where the garment's coming from rather than it being made in a factory in China. So for us, it's really important.
Well, I think the designers and the artists themselves are embracing it, but the city itself doesn't really know how much creativity is happening in Dundee. I think with the V&As coming, that will hopefully kind of get designers more in the limelight and bring the creativity out and like basically into the high street. Like I've been based at Wasps like since 2006, and that's like one of the main things that we've tried to do is like bring the general public to the creative sector.
One of the big things is that I feel as a Dundonian, and having lived abroad, the V&A is here, it's fantastic. But there was things happening here before the V&A came here. There were still people working here even before the V&A was spoken about. So it's going to polarise everything. But there was creativity happening here in music, design, fashion, before the V&A came along. It's very welcome. It's going to be make an incredible difference to the young people of the city.
Well, I've already tweeted the fact that it will be New York, London, Milan, Paris and Dundee. So why not? We have an eclectic city, we have a beautiful, amazing city. We are a UNESCO City of Design, so why can't people think about Dundee as being one of the places to go out and actually see fashion and design coming hand in hand and being a very, very stylish city?
Loads. I mean, with the V&A and everything happening in Dundee, it's, to me, everywhere I go, I tell everybody about Dundee. I'm a massive fan of where I've been brought up, and I just love the city and the people in it. And this can only heighten the awareness to everybody else. And the more and more we do as a city of 145,000 people to rise it amongst the ranks, as in, I think it was the New York Times said it was the top 5 place to visit. So if we can maintain that or higher, then even better for us.
I'm really excited about Dundee Fashion Week. I think it's fantastic for Dundee. Dundee is one of the most creative cities in Europe, if not the world. We have so many talented people in this city, and I think Dundee Fashion Week is giving them the opportunity to showcase their work.
It's always been the first to put itself down, and I hope that's changing now with all that's going on in Dundee, and I think Dundee Fashion Week can only be part of that, and a sense of worth of itself and its design and its creativity and its great heritage in those lines.
So this really is just the next stage of us developing as a city, putting us on the map and really showing off that Dundee is a city of culture.
Supposing that we do go on to have other events, this event is very much Dundee focused. You'll see from the website that we've really used it as a way of talking about Dundee, celebrating Dundee and everything that it has to offer.
We've all had our fashion and style ups and downs, and we all interpret emerging trends differently. Social media channels now give such easy access to different ideas, brands and trends around the globe that the days of just a handful of style icons influencing most of us are truly over. Being stylish now seems to transcend any old stereotypes about age, body image and what we should and shouldn't wear. So there it is, a glimpse of what influences folk day to day in the city as they make their choices about what to wear, what to design, what will sell, and the fashion disasters they'd rather forget.
I have had more fashion disasters than I care to admit to. I try just to think, at the time I felt good, I felt confident. It doesn't fit in with what we think now, but perms were not my finest moment.
Probably my worst was when I was pregnant, and that was the first time about 29 years ago, and I couldn't find anything to suit me, so I made my own clothes and had rather psychedelic dungarees, which I thought were pretty edgy, but looking back at the photographs, they're really quite embarrassing.
Probably every day, to be fair. I mean, I don't know. I think I feel comfortable and happy with what I'm wearing, but to someone else, my outfit may look horrific. So I suppose it depends, it's subjective, isn't it? But probably every day, depending on the way you look at it.
That would be a baby powder blue glazed cotton suit, lightweight cotton suit of the era, the early 80s, Miami Vice, when I thought it was Don Johnson, with sleeves rolled up to my arms, worn with jazz shoes, which jazz shoes are basically ballet pumps with laces, and they're not good on your feet all day. That was a big disaster. And with the highlights. They coupled it and they rounded it all off.
I'm probably oblivious of that. I probably have made loads of mistakes, but I think it's all fun, so I am a little bit oblivious of that.
When I was a teenager, I went through a gothic phase. So I wore all black, and I would wear like fishnet tights on my arms as gloves and stripy tights, and it was awful and not me at all. And I think that for me just highlights that was about trying to fit in, and it wasn't about a celebration of who I am, it was trying to be something that I'm not. And I think so many teenagers go through that as we find our sense of self, but that was definitely a disaster for me.
I would honestly say my biggest fashion disaster occurs every single night past 10 p.m. when I take my dog out, and I'm in like the big dog walker's jacket, the Ugg boots, unabashedly, unashamed, wearing like pyjama bottoms, walking around my room. But that's the fun of fashion, I think, as well, as allowing yourself to have disasters and like not really take it all seriously, if you know what I mean. I'm very like Mink to Millionaire, like.
I lived in London for quite a while, and there's a whole mixture obviously in London, a mix of fashion and more things. You get away with more things than you perhaps do when you come back to Broughty Ferry or Dundee. And at the time, I bought myself a pair of very bright yellow jeans. I think they were Versace, which was a brand, but they were nice jeans and they were in a sale, so it all worked well. There was a little black line down them. I thought they would just be fabulous to wear back to a wedding I was going to, a friend's wedding in Broughty Ferry. And it didn't quite work. It looked like Rupert, when I walked downstairs into the function room, it looked like Rupert Bear had come in, and there was a draw of breath of Coco the Clown had walked into the room. So that didn't work, but it gave everybody a laugh for the day, and you know, I didn't wear them again.
Oh gosh, I think I've had so many fashion disasters. Probably the whole of the 80s and the 90s were my biggest fashion disaster. But I do remember a rah-rah dress. Do you remember rah-rah skirts that were all in the fashion in the 80s? And a pink, shiny silk dress that I did this stupid thing that, because it was a designer thing, but it was so cheap, I think it was only about 25 quid, I bought it and it just sat in my cupboard and never came out. Also, when I worked at TVAM, we had to wear really bright clothes, and I had a jacket that was all different colours. It was like Joseph's coat of many colours, except even more colourful. You needed sunglasses when I wore that jacket. It was really bad. I've kept it just as a reminder that I mustn't do that again.